Well, hello there and welcome to another video from Veg Grower Podcast. Now, in this video I thought I'd give you a bit of an allotment update. There's quite a bit going on and I'm really pleased with how things are looking. Now, as you can see, I'm in the greenhouse and that is totally complete. If you've listened to the podcast, you would know I brought some glass panels and replaced the ones that were broken. It's now planted up. We've got a melon in here, we've got a couple of tomato plants, and we've got a couple of chickpea plants and an aubergine plant. All down this side here, and then on the shelves that I also obtained that were my granddad's, I've got a couple of chili plants and a couple of squash plants at the moment. There's more to come here, and not all the plants will be staying in here, but it's just a little thing to get us going. Now, it's getting a bit hot in here, as you can imagine, so outside is where there is a lot going on. Right, just under this protective sheet, I've got a couple of pots here that I've filled with multi-purpose compost, and I've sowed some carrot seeds and some parsnip seeds into these. The reason I'm doing this is that every time I've sown carrots or parsnips on this allotment, I've struggled. I've had one or two, but not a very good amount of germination at all. Now, I was talking to Bill from Bill 2 Plots of Heaven, who's just over there, and he said to me he grows his in pots of multi-purpose compost. So I thought I'd give it a try. I've got nothing to lose. So I filled up these 2 pots, and I'm going to do several more all along this bay just to get things, well, just want to get some carrots and some parsnips. If it works, then I'll keep doing that. I think it will work, because I think the trouble I have here is I've got a really hard clay soil, and I think the seed just can't push itself through that soil when it gets hard, and that's why they're not germinating. I was trying to move away from pots, but if it works, it works. Now, my onions in this bed are just over here. Now, these onions are growing great. They're nice, decent size. 2 beds of onions, as you probably know if you've been watching what I do. But what has been happening is some of these onions have been potting up a flower spike. I'm not surprised because of how dry it's been. I have been watering them almost daily, but it's been so dry that they've put up this flower spike as a sign of stress. Now, that's not a huge problem, because all I do is snap them off. And then I've discovered they are really, really tasty. I use them like spring onions in salads and stuff. Really tasty. So it's not great that they're starting to bolt or go to flower, but they're still producing something a bit edible. Now, the leeks, which are over in the bed just to the side of this, they've also been throwing up the occasional flower spike, but I'm also suffering with leek rust on those, which again, it happens every year, so I'm not surprised. And it's annoying, it doesn't look good, but I don't find it really does any real damage. The bulbs, I believe, have grown. We'll find out when it comes to harvesting time. Now, my pear and apple trees are in flower. Well, they've gone past flowering, and we've got little fruitlets showing, as is the cherry tree behind me. So things are really, really moving along. I will take you up to the top half of my allotment now, and we'll have a look at what's going on up there. Well, we're at the main bed now, and I have been busy clearing weeds, and I've got there. A sharp hoe was the key. May sound obvious, but it needed to be really, really sharp. And I've planted out mostly brassicas at the moment. Under these nets that we have here, I've got various kales and pak choy and purple sprouting broccoli in the ground, just going under here. Now, there's a lot more plants still to go in, which are happening over the next few weeks. It's going to be a big plant out probably next weekend, and more to follow. Now every year I try and grow something new, and this year is chickpeas. I've got 2 here. I've got 2 in Grandad's greenhouse and 1 in my greenhouse at home. I don't know how these are going to turn out, but I really like the look of these. They probably do need some sort of support, which is something to remind myself to do when I watch this video back. But I'm really interested to see how these get on. I've never grown chickpeas before, which is why this is a really good experiment for me, and see how they get on. Be interesting to know. Now, I've got some great news about the strawberries. Yes, now I spied down here earlier. We have some strawberries that are now ready. Nice and early, nice and plump and fresh. There's 3 there. But the important thing is, what do they taste like? Oh, wow. You just cannot beat the taste of fresh strawberries. Now my potatoes, they are growing really well at the top there. I've mulched them once and covered them over, and then I've cut comfrey down and covered them again, and soon I'll be covering them again in another layer of compost. But they just seem to be growing really well. So pleased with them. They just, yeah, March 17th they were sown, St Patrick's Day, so things are going to plan. Really great. Now before I leave, I want to meet you down by Scruffy Corner, because there's been a little development over there. And this is Scruffy Corner. It's not so scruffy now, sort of. The one compost bin that was kind of ready, I've emptied that, and all the stuff that was lying around I've ran over with a lawnmower and thrown that all back in there, heating up quite quickly, and it should rot down very fast. I'm going to do the same with the other one, and basically try and all the weeds and everything that I collect, I'm going to run over with a lawnmower in order to make the compost a bit faster. And that's what these buckets here are for. They're the weeds that I've collected today. I'm just storing them until the weekend, and then it will be shredded into that compost bin, and off we go. But I'm pleased this is looking a bit tidier. It's not perfect, and it's not meant to be perfect. I'm just little things, little victories. Anyway, that's it for this week, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little allotment update. Please take care, and I'll see you again next time.